Sometimes you can feel it. That quiet sense that you have not fully arrived in the world you are living in. As if something within you were sitting on ground that does not belong to you. As if you were a guest in a land whose language you have not yet learned. It is not pain, not drama, more a gentle unrest that keeps asking, why do I feel like a stranger, even in places that should feel familiar? The saying we explore today speaks directly into this riddle. It tells of children sitting in a field that is not their own, of owners who demand their field back, of a thief who can only come when the heart falls asleep, and of a watchfulness stronger than any darkness. In this video on saying 21 of the Gospel of Thomas, we descend into the depth of these images, from the foreign field to the clarity within. Perhaps this saying shows us not only where we live, but who we may become if we remain awake in a world that constantly invites us to fall asleep. There are moments when you suddenly sense that your life feels like a place that never fully belonged to you. You walk your path, you work, you love, you hope, and yet deep within, a question continues to echo. Why do I feel like a child sitting on ground that is not my own? The saying speaks of a field where children sit, unguarded, vulnerable, not truly knowing where they are or who this place belongs to. The field becomes a symbol for the world as we experience it. Loud, fast, shaped by rules we never created, and expectations that often make us smaller than we really are. The French philosopher Blaise Pascal once remarked that human beings distract themselves endlessly to avoid meeting themselves. A thought that feels almost painfully accurate in our time. Perhaps that is why we feel foreign, because we learn to settle into the world, but not into ourselves. This saying reminds us that this feeling is not unhealthy. It is a sign that your heart still knows there is another ground, one that reaches deeper than anything you could gain or lose. This sense of not belonging is not a mistake. It is a calling, a quiet sign that you are on your way. The children in the saying are not only strangers in the field. One day, they must give it back. And then the text speaks a line that feels strange and almost painfully vulnerable. They undress before them to return the field. Why this image? Why this nakedness? Perhaps because no one can defend themselves with something that was never theirs. Perhaps because, in the end, we will not be asked how much we gathered, but how much we were willing to let go of. Meister Eckhart, the medieval German mystic, said that the heart becomes free only when it is unclothed from what it never truly possessed. Not in a physical sense, but inwardly, from the masks and roles, the self-images we carry for so long that we forget they were never part of who we really are. Returning the field means this. You release everything that has hardened you, not because it is worthless, but because it was never yours to keep. Fame is not yours. Expectations are not yours. Even your body, as much as you must protect it, is not yours forever. Returning is not a loss. It is a homecoming. The more you set down, the closer you come to what truly remains. The nakedness of this image is not shameful. It is pure. It speaks of a heart that hides nothing. A heart that turns toward God without mask, without role, without fear. A heart free enough to remember where home truly is. In the second image of the saying, a new figure enters the scene. The thief. He is not loud, not violent, not easily seen. He comes only when no one is awake. This is the deepest point of the parable. What weakens you most rarely arrives with force. It arrives with tiredness. Inside, the thief is not a stranger. He is whatever separates you from yourself. The distraction, the fear of silence, the habits you no longer question. The medieval mystic Rumi once said that the world behaves like a thief who steals awareness when the heart is not watching. Not because the world is evil, but because the heart falls asleep so easily. Maybe you know these moments. You pick up your phone for a single minute and give away an hour of your life. Or you follow expectations that were never yours and only later realize that you have lost something. Not possessions, but presence. The thief steals only one thing, your wakefulness. And without wakefulness, you can no longer hear the voice of your own soul. The saying reveals something simple. Loss begins within, long before anything disappears on the outside. But the saying does not end with the thief. It offers a counter-image, the householder. If the householder knows the thief is coming, he will stay awake. The householder is not God. God, in the image, is the true owner of the field, the origin of all things. The householder, the one who keeps watch and guards the door, is your awareness. Not in a self-important sense, but in the responsibility that God has entrusted to you. The responsibility for your heart, your gaze, your intentions. John of the Cross, the Spanish mystic, described the inner life of a person as a house that needs stillness and gathering, so that God may light a flame within it. A wakeful heart is not a hard heart. It is an attentive one. It notices which thoughts should enter and which should remain outside. It pays attention to the words it nourishes and the ones it lets fall away. And it knows that not every stirring, not every impulse, not every emotion comes from the core of who you are. The householder in the saying is the awareness that refuses to be robbed by the world, by noise, or by the thieves of the soul. Whoever remains awake does not lose what has been entrusted to them. And sometimes, wakefulness begins with a single breath that brings you back into the moment where life truly happens. In the third image of the saying, an expression appears that feels almost foreign today. Gird your loins with great strength. It is an old image, yet its meaning is surprisingly clear. To fasten one's belt in those days meant to prepare oneself for work, for the road, for responsibility. It is the opposite of distraction. It is gathering, clarity, determination. In our time, it might sound like this: Stand inwardly upright. Stay awake. Know what you are doing. This is not hardness, not conflict, not pride. It is the simple truth that a person should not be carried by accident, but guided by conscience. The Hermetic writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus suggest something similar. The mind becomes strong when it stops running from itself. Strength does not begin in the muscle, but within, in the posture with which you step into your day. When you gird yourself inwardly, it means this: you choose wakefulness over dullness, clarity over chaos, God over distraction. It is the quiet strength of someone who says, "I will not be stolen by the things that make me smaller." This strength is never loud. It is never aggressive. It is the strength of a person who knows their path and walks it step by step with a heart that does not fall asleep. At the end of the saying, a final gentle figure appears, the understanding person. If you have among you someone who understands, let him gird your loins. He is not a ruler, not a prophet, not a hero. He is the one who understands what it truly means to stay awake. Perhaps you have met such people yourself. They speak little, listen deeply, and carry a light within them that does not come from them alone. An understanding person does not guide others through power, but through clarity. The poet Rilke once wrote that a person becomes wise only when they sink into the depth of what they are. It is a path that leads inward, not upward. The understanding person in this saying is the inner voice God has placed within you. The conscience, the quiet insight that warns you softly when you drift and strengthens you gently when you return. He is not a judge, but a companion. And when you learn to hear this inner voice, it becomes the one that girds your loins with the strength you need to walk faithfully, faithful to yourself, faithful to what is right, faithful to God. And so a person who once sat like a child on a foreign field becomes someone who knows who they are and where they belong. At the end of this saying, one final image remains, simple yet leading far. A human being who has awakened, not a hero, not a saint, not a flawless figure, but a person who has realized that they are sitting in a field that does not belong to them. And it is precisely there, in this sense of foreignness, that the path begins. For whoever senses that this world is not their final home, stops searching outward for what can only be found within. The thief loses his power when the heart stays awake. The robbers find no path when the soul is clear, and the field that was never ours becomes easier to leave when we understand that we are only guests on this earth, travelers who will one day return to their origin. Saying 21 reminds us of this. Wakefulness is not a burden. It is a liberation. It does not take life from you. It gives back what you believed you had long since lost. Inner clarity, inner justice, and the peace that is not of this world, yet can still be found within it. And perhaps the true field that belongs to us is not a place, but a condition of the heart. A heart that stays awake, free, and ready to return to God, upright, light, and unafraid. The journey begins with a single step, remaining awake when the world wants you to fall asleep. Maybe that is the quiet invitation hidden within this ancient saying, not to run away, but to awaken.